Hi, everyone. Welcome to Money Talks, Grade 3 Financial Literacy. I'm so excited to introduce you to Chris Meaden, who is here from Junior Achievement of Southern Alberta to offer us resources and strategies for implementing the financial literacy component of the physical education and wellness curriculum in grade 3. So thanks so much for being here and for the preparation you've done, Chris, to support us in this area. I will pass it over to you.
Thanks so much, Cheryl. I'm pleased to be here today. Welcome to our Money Talk session. My name is Chris Meaden, and I am proud to be a longtime educator, especially with the Calgary Board of Education, and now representing Junior Achievement of Southern Alberta as their Director of Teacher Development. As Cheryl said, my goal is to share a little bit of information about our organization and our programs, especially those in financial literacy. More importantly, I look forward to your feedback about how we can support your work in accomplishing the related outcomes in the new curriculum. I'm coming to you from Calgary today, where the sun is shining and I'm overlooking Nose Hill Park. And so I would like to take this opportunity as well to acknowledge the traditional territories of the peoples of the Treaty 7 region in Southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot First Nations, First Nation tribes of the Siksika, the Piikani, the Kainai, and the Stoney Nakoda First Nations tribes of Chiniki, Bearspaw, Wesley, and the Tsuut'ina First Nation. The city of Calgary is also homeland to the historic Northwest Métis and to Métis Region 3. Thank you. Oh boy, that's not a good way to start.
Just fine. Do you want me
Here
to
do we go?
slides for you? I can share the slides if you like.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'll do
Okay.
that. No problem.
All right. So Junior Achievement of Southern Alberta is proud to be part of JA Worldwide. And JA Worldwide has been in existence for over 100 years and includes over 120 local chapters. Next slide.
Just give me one little second here.
So as an organization, JA continues to build and grow opportunities to help our students gain skills in 3 areas: financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship training. Through the opportunities provided, it has been exciting to see evidence of student growth, not only in terms of their financial literacy, but also their financial capability and even their financial capacity. You will see the term financial capacity more and more in the literature. That motivation and knowledge that individuals have to engage with and use financial information to make sound decisions. Some of our volunteers and professionals have even found the information useful in their own financial planning, linking to what the literature also deems financial health. So I'm not sure of our audience today, but perhaps some of you have had something to do with Junior Achievement before in the past, perhaps as a student, a teacher, a volunteer, maybe a member of our business community. And we hope that you will continue to engage with us and ask us questions. Next slide. So Junior Achievement, whoops, we're going back one, Cheryl, sorry.
Oh,
Junior Achievement Southern Alberta is a regional office and one of the largest in Canada. We work with other regions, including Junior Achievement of Northern Alberta and the Northwest Territories, to consider our provincial needs and develop new materials based on what is happening locally. In this case, our new provincial curricula. Because of our reputation and our ability to respond, JA Southern Alberta is proud to report a substantial increase in our reach. As of December this year, almost 30,000 students accessed our programs. And next slide. We couldn't do this work, though, without our wonderful supporters. And it is these supporters that allow us to offer all of our programs free of charge to our educators. Here are some of our local funders. And next slide. Wanted to give you just a little bit of a snapshot of our programs. And so if you just click on the link, Cheryl, you'll be able to see some of the sample activities that we'll be using today, as well as a summary of our programs and some QR codes that will allow you to sign up for our programs today. Now, you'll notice on this slide that many of the programs are graded. However, being the wonderful professionals that you are, you will be pulling in and pulling from a number of these programs based on your classroom and where you're at in terms of the development of outcomes and perhaps some of the extensions that you would like. And we'll go to the next slide. So our goal, as I said, is to help you as you consider your work related to financial literacy. We know that you make incredibly difficult and important decisions every day as you choose resources, considering the learning profiles of your students, your lesson pacing, and your assessment. And I know the list goes on. We've also provided on the next slide a visual journal link for you. So you might find this useful as you jot down some of the points today. And you can just, as you perhaps decide to draw or doodle some of your thoughts, connect or web some of your thoughts, or simply categorize them. So we're going to go now into some of the new K-6 curriculum work. So in terms of Alberta Education's new K-6 curricula, a scope and sequence of financial literacy outcomes are now identified in our physical education and wellness curriculum. Students will learn in age-appropriate ways that money has value and allows them to purchase the things that they need and want. Students will continue to work with money concepts as well in areas such as mathematics to support the financial literacy skills learned in physical education and wellness. Alberta Education has specifically highlighted financial literacy as well as one of the key practical skills in the new curriculum. Those practical skills also include those in computer science, public speaking, and consent. And the next slide. So the organizing idea, and you'll see the spiral that I'm sure that you're very familiar with. The organizing idea for all of the K-6 curriculum in Alberta is all organized under this big idea that informed financial decision-making contributes to the well-being of individuals, groups, and communities. And then on the next slide, we are looking specifically at that grade 3 learning outcome today, linked of course to the big organizing idea and to be assessed and reported on in grade 3. And that is that students describe the strategies that support responsible money management. And of course, in our program of study as well, those knowledge, understanding, skills, and procedures are highlighted that will also help provide a context for the learning outcome. So in this case, certainly looking at those good money habits that allow individuals to appreciate the value of money and the importance of managing it. focusing on things that are needed, that are affordable, taking time and goal setting, and not purchasing more than is needed. And then on the next slide, we go on to some of the additional knowledge that will be critical here in terms of saving, as well as needs and wants, goals, and things like donations. And the next slide. So in terms of the understanding skills and procedures, individuals can develop those habits early in life, focusing on saving and again, donations, as well as specific discussions about responsible saving and spending and identifying those short-term and long-term goals. So today's sample tasks come from JA's Our Country program. And again, even though this is highlighted as grade 3, we've taken some of the tasks from Our Country today, as well as the More Than Money program, because these are directly related to the outcomes in the new curriculum. And the next slide looks at some sample word wall vocabulary that you might decide to highlight as you look at these particular concepts. So looking always with students at differentiating between needs and wants. For example, what are some of the things that we need as a family and want as a family? What are some of the things we need as an individual and want as the individuals as in our family? And where does the money for these things come from? And next slide, as we consider the concepts around needs and wants, there's also materials in the JA programs about the needs of our community. What are some of the things we need as a community? And where does some of the money for these things come from? And just a reminder, in all of the JA programs, there is a teacher's or facilitator's guide, sometimes called an inspiration guide. And there's also student tasks that go directly, that match directly with some of these discussions. And the next slide. In the More Than Money program, we also introduce characters to illustrate concepts about spending and saving. In this case, we've called them Ernie the Earner, and he introduces the idea that money must be earned and wisely saved and spent. He's a hard worker who likes the idea of keeping money in a bank or credit union. We introduce a concept around saving through Super Saver, who's always looking for ways to save money. She knows money is necessary in life and thinks hard before spending it. And we also have a character called Sir Spend-A-Lot, who would love to plant a money garden. He likes money, but is only concerned with spending it. His favorite saying is, I'd buy that and that and that. So it's always, I think, interesting in some of the classes that we've done to consider the conversation with the students about what character appeals to them. What other characters might they develop? And thinking about what are some of the short-term benefits of assuming some of these characters' thinking, what are the long-term benefits? And as always, moving from some of the broader concepts to some of the personal. So thinking about activities in this case, have students done any of these activities recently? Perhaps they've gone to a water park, a movie, a festival, a miniature golf course, or a sporting event. And considering what some of these items have in common. What did they cost? What was most enjoyable? How they might make decisions about which activity they would choose over another. Perhaps they really enjoy movies. Maybe they don't really like going to the water park. So again, having those conversations about making good choices as well and personal choices. In terms of earning, saving, and spending, they might consider what in the previous slide, what activities they might add to that previous slide. And then think again, personally, something that they have spent money on recently. Where did they get the money? Perhaps they have an allowance, perhaps they had to do chores, perhaps they got a gift. Thinking about whether or not they've ever earned money or whether they have been just given money. And perhaps in the future, if they wanted to have more money, how might they earn it? And what would they spend it on? So again, all of these tasks have sample questions for teachers, as well as some possible answers that students might give. We also, as much as possible, try to include small videos for students to think about as well. And here's one in particular on budget.
The thing that's different about a Verbo vacation home,
So we've got
you always have the whole.
A budget is a plan for what you'll do with your money when you get it. For example, when working adults get paid, they have a plan for that money before they spend it. Think about it. If they spent all their money on fun things right away, then they wouldn't have enough money left over for the not so fun but completely necessary things like the electric bill, the house payment, and gas to fill up the car. That plan to limit spending on fun things, or wants, to make sure you have enough money for necessary things, or needs, is called a budget. Great! So sounds like a budget is something I don't have to worry about until later, right? When I have bills and living expenses of my own to pay? Well, not necessarily. In fact, if you've ever gotten money for your birthday and decided to save it for something big rather than spend it right away, well, congratulations! You've already completed a baby step of budgeting, and you didn't even know it. Here's a budgeting plan you can start now as a student to make it easier for you as an adult. It's called the 30-60-10 plan. Here's how it works. Every time you get even a little bit of money from now until you're an adult, try saving 30% of it, spending 60% of it, and sharing 10% of it. So if you got $10, that would mean saving $3, spending $6, and sharing $1. Saving, we know what that is. That's putting money aside for later. Spending, we definitely know what that is. That's buying stuff now. What about sharing? What's that mean? Sharing in this context means giving money to a cause you care about. If you've ever bought food for a canned food drive, donated to a charity, or even contributed money to a fundraiser for your school, you have shared money. And it's a great habit to start even when you're young. So, 30-60-10, pretty easy to remember, right? If you're already earning money, this is something you can start right now. If not, you can wait until you get a job, which will probably happen sooner than you even realize. Either way, the 30-60-10 plan will help you practice organizing money so that when you're an adult with bills and living expenses to pay, it will feel much easier. And if you're feeling bummed about not spending all of your money right away, just remember this: you still get to spend most of your money, right? 60%, the spend category, is still the biggest chunk of your money. You're still spending most of your hard-earned money, you're just setting aside some to save and share, so you don't spend too much.
You've got an amazing business idea. Now what? Go to Shopify.com and start your business today.
So helpful today. I can't believe this. Nice. I'm coming right back. Don't worry.
Okay.
Here we go, friends.
Okay, we're good. Cheryl, are you there?
All good, go ahead.
Okay. So we're on slide 23, right?
Yeah, right after the video. Mhm.
Okay, the program also offers activities for students to apply concepts of spending and saving. There are tips included about how to, for example, set up a class auction. In an auction, the auctioneer offers an item for sale and the buyers bid by calling out the price they're willing to pay for the item. Buyers want to pay as little as possible, so quite often they'll start with a low price and only increase it if someone offers a higher price. The person who ends up bidding the highest price purchases the item for sale. So in this case, much of the time, we have developed JA dollars, and we'll give each student $20. So once they're $20 in JA dollars, that is, and once their money is spent, they can no longer bid. So again, learning that they should only bid on the items that they want. And quite often what we'll do is we'll just use items from the classroom for a mock auction. So you'll note as well on slide 24 that the program also offers extensions and supports for learning. And so in this case, we have extended the conversation around needs and wants to think about how our needs and wants change as new inventions and new technologies are invented. And so just as a start, might be some questions about what are some of the latest and greatest new technologies or new inventions that students have just purchased. Perhaps it's a new game, perhaps they've gone to a new movie theater, or maybe they've purchased a new item of clothing that they wanted. Having and extending that conversation about what was the best thing about some of these new technologies and inventions, and what was the worst thing. For example, maybe the items cost more than some of the older items that they had. You can also extend this conversation around some Canadian inventors, and we have some information around that, and a sheet to just talk about some of the famous inventions that some of our wonderful Canadians have made in the past. So this is also part of the program. Other extensions and supports for learning on page 25. You might decide to move into an innovation challenge and thinking about if the students were an entrepreneur or an inventor themselves, what would they invent? Why? And what need would that invention fill? So we've done some work with groups of students who have formed teams to create some of their own inventions. So here are just some extension ideas that we've included for grade 3. So today as well, like I say, our focus today really was on financial literacy, but I did also want to highlight on slide 26, the RoboGarden program as well. Because computer science too is highlighted as a practical skill in the new Alberta curriculum, Junior Achievement has partnered with the Calgary developers of RoboGarden to offer this platform to our Calgary and area teachers and students too. Grade 6, K-6 teachers can apply once again for this program through our JA website. The focus of RoboGarden is on computational thinking that includes decomposing, pattern recognition, abstraction, and algorithms. It is gamified and self-directed as needed as well. And much like your other online learning shells, it includes a section for teachers to track student learning. And on slide 27, we've just included a short, small screenshot of one of our sample block coding screens. Okay, so what's next for JA? We don't exist without you and the wonderful students that you serve. And so our work is to support you as teachers. So we would like to continue to add clarity between the alignment of some of our programs and some of the key concepts in financial literacy with the new curriculum. And if you find that something isn't clear or you'd like no more materials, please do let us know. We are continuing to evolve our online and less paper approach. Certainly, many of our tasks in the past were done through student workbooks, but you will find that most of the information is available with paperless as well. We'd also like to advance the learning management system for you as teachers, and of course, capitalize on our visibility and reach within the business community. We've just had the opportunity once again this year to celebrate our new Business Hall of Fame laureates, and they are always interested in students and in the work that you do. And finally, on page 29, again, we do this work because of you. In the past, we've been able to access a number of volunteers for single sessions in your classrooms, and oftentimes we are still able to do that. I would also encourage you to access the financial experts in your own community, perhaps through your classroom parents or through your school council, and we're more than willing to work with those folks as well. However, as an educator, I'm always reminded it is your knowledge, though, and expertise that brings learning to life in our Alberta classrooms. It is you that links learning through the daily tasks that you do with the previous tasks that you've already done. And you know your students and your work the best. Please do continue to access our materials, though, as you make decisions around the complex work that you do. And if we could play that final video, Cheryl.
Because of you, I am more prepared for life after school.
I am more likely to graduate from high school.
Learn a trade.
Get a college degree.
An advanced degree. Create a budget. Stick with a budget.
Because of you, I know how to open a bank account.
Manage my money.
Manage your money.
That was great.
Run a business.
Start my own business.
I'll be more likely to give back to my community.
And help others give back to theirs. Because of you, I'm more likely to get a good job.
An important job where I can make a difference.
Make a change.
Change the world.
Change the world.
Change the world.
Because of you.
So again, I really, really appreciate the time that you've spent with us today. I put our program summary slide up once again for you and the link to the QR codes. Those programs, once again, include a fairly guided booklet, a fairly guided summary of discussions and tasks for facilitators or teachers, as well as specific student tasks. And I invite you to have a look at those. Should you have any questions, please do contact our Southern Alberta office, and we'd be more than pleased to work you through some of the documents and make sure that you have access to the information that you need. You're also welcome to email me specifically too about your questions, or if you have any feedback about some of our materials. As always, very, very thankful for the work as well that you do every day on behalf of our Alberta students. And I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon and evening and Mother's Day weekend this weekend. So goodbye and all the best.
Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate all the resources. I know that teachers will be really grateful when they get a chance to dig into those links, and just make sure you capture a copy of the slide deck, which is pasted in the chat for you today, and we will get this posted on the ARPDC website as soon as possible. You'll probably find it there. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Take good care, everyone.
Thank you, Cheryl.